All right, welcome to another episode of What to Watch or What to Stream. Hi, Jana. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm
How
good,
are you?
thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Went through
Yeah,
some
and
technical difficulties as usual, but here we are.
yes, but you're right. It's not just to stream. You're gonna watch as well. So don't
That's
worry.
true. What to watch, what to stream. It's all the same stuff. Well, I'm Lupe with Cinemovie TV. This is Jana with Jana on Camera. We're both members of the Hollywood Critics Association. Am I right? Yeah. It's early in the day. So we're going to be talking about shows and movies that we recommend. And Jenna, why don't you take it
Yeah.
from here?
Yeah, I'm gonna start over with Jupiter's Legacy, which is now streaming. The 8 episodes is already streaming on Netflix. And it tells I think if you didn't watch already, you can watch now. Is the first follows the first generation of superheroes that have been kept the world safe for like nearly a century, and now their children needs to live up with their legacy. And there is a lot of like some drama, some and they navigate through the decades, and also shows the dynamics on the family, the power, loyalty. And the Jupiter's Legacy was adapted by Stephen S. the Knight from the comic book series from Mark Miller and Frank Quitely. And I think on the cast, right? The cast is Josh Duhamel or Duhamel. I never can say his name
That
correctly.
sounds
Ben
about right.
Daniels. Okay. Ben Daniels, Lelis Bibb, Elena Campuris, Andrew Harter, Mike Wade, Matt Lanter, and Ian Killen. I think the cast it's good. I like the cast a lot. I like that they try to bring these new alternative misfits superheroes to us to create this universe for us to watch. But there is something there that I watched it until the end, but I don't think it's. I watch because I need to watch it, but not because I was like, oh my God, let me come back because I really love the series. You know what I mean? Like I want to go for it. It's not bad, but it's not the best, you know? So, and then I thought that's unfortunate because I thought that it would be something good for Josh Duhamel, for Josh, and I think he always overlooking some of the projects that he does. He's a good actor, but I thought that it's gonna bring him more like up to, and I don't know. There's something about it that I didn't work for me. The cinematography is good. I like the way that they treat like this dynamic that they go to the 30th, and then they come back to the modern day, and I like that dynamic. I think it works overall. I don't know about you, Lupe. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes on a Saturday night because I was like, I have nothing to do. Let's see what's out there. And I tuned in. And well, first of all, I saw the ads, I saw the promotion, but I had no clue this bearded guy was Josh Duhamel, which I found shocking because I was like, oh crap, that's Josh Duhamel because I like him. So I was surprised. And, like you mentioned, they have father-daughter issues. And I've seen it before. Invincible on Amazon Prime. His father, his son trying to live up to his dad's legacy. So it seems just like a retread. And there's some interesting things there about when they go back in time, how they became superheroes in the first generation, like you mentioned. But I find it interesting, but not, like you said, it's not compelling enough to bring you back to watch.
Unfortunately,
to watch the rest of it, right?
Yeah, I watched towards the end, and what's funny because Netflix, the trailer shows something that happens on episode 7, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And why, they sometimes they're very careful with spoilers, and for us not to spoil anything when you watch it before, because I watched before going live for everybody, on the platform. And even the trailer like brings, I don't know, it's weird. And we already saw something like that, with The Boys, with the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something different that this show doesn't, like, as you said, doesn't. I didn't want to come back. I come back because, like, obligation. Yeah, like something like that.
Right. Well, I'm sure it's some people will like it, but like I said, it's like you mentioned, it's a retread of all these other shows. So I mean, characters are interesting, but who knows? But anyway, I have another Netflix series. It's The Sons of Sam: A Descent into Darkness. This is based on the serial killer case of David Berkowitz. If you remember, if you don't remember, if you know of him, he was a serial killer in New York City who went on a shooting spree in the summer of 76 and 77. He killed 8 people and wounded 7 in this year-long killing spree. And he was finally caught. But this series contends that he did not act alone. And so this always involves a journalist who becomes obsessed with the case. And it goes with this story. This man becomes obsessed with the story. His name is Ori Terry, and he decides to look into it. One, because the sketches that the witnesses had the police drop did not match David Berkowitz. So he started to wonder, like, what is going on? This man could not have perpetrated all this by himself. So he looked into it, and they show the sketches. And here are the sketches that you see of the men that were. There was different sketches. There was one with curly hair. There was one with straight hair with a little lip on his forehead, a comb over kind of look. And so they started to look more into it. Turns out, and they make a really compelling case. By episode 2, I believed it. They made a really compelling case. It's all there. They uncover that he's friends with these 2 men named John and Michael Carr. And granted, this guy the serial killer called himself the Son of Sam, also known as a 44 caliber killer. Turns out these 2 men, Michael and John Carr, their father was named Sam. And apparently he was a very abusive man. And so that might have, they're guessing that that's what set off these boys, is that they came from a violent family. And so they go down that path, and what's happening is they're going to the police and saying, hey, the sketches don't match David Berkowitz. They match these guys that he was affiliated with. You need to go check it out. But the NYPD was done. They got their man. They wanted to celebrate. Like in movies. It always happens in the movies. They think they got their man. They don't want to do anything else. It just plays out like a fictional story, fictional cop movie. And, Berkowitz confessed and he pleaded guilty, so there wasn't this long, drawn-out case where all this could have come up. So this guy is trying to gain more evidence, and he does. And like I said, by episode 2, you're believing it, that this person, these two men were involved also. And find a connection between Charles Manson. They were these car boys were Scientologists. He links them into satanic cults, and they go down this really ugly road where they would sacrifice like German shepherds, and that's where I lost it. I was like, what? They would kill these German shepherds, cut off their ears. I mean, it goes down really dark path. But like I said, they make a really compelling case. If you follow the evidence, you follow the sketches. All 3 men are sketched by different witnesses. And so I'm a total believer of this show. I think they make a really compelling case. And so yeah, by episode 3, I start to lose a little interest, though. It's a 4-part series. I start to lose interest because they go down a satanic cult, and it's just so wicked that I'm not liking it. But so it's very morbid, is what I'm trying to say. So if you like that kind of stuff, I didn't get to episode 4 just because they went down this really morbid road with this whole satanic cult. But like I said, by episode 2, you believe this guy, this Maury Terry. He's no longer with us. But so they use the voiceover of, I forgot to write the actor's name. What is his name? Can't remember his name, from Mama's House. Anyway, they use his voice to detail what he thought. What the evidence led to.
Interesting. I didn't watch this one. So I'm going to put on my list so I can check it out.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like I said, the first 2 episodes is what is the compelling part. By the 3rd episode, they go down this road by satanic cults, and they go beyond the people who killed these innocent New York City people. So it just goes off kilter. So I lost interest. But the first 2 episodes are really, really good. If you like the true crime stuff, you really find that. Because sometimes you doubt when they put these shows together, these true crime stories, you kind of doubt like the evidence going, but they laid it out specific and you believe it. It's like, yeah, NYPD dropped the ball. They didn't want to go further. They just wanted to celebrate. It was politics. It was politics, and there was re-elections coming up. So it was involved around that. So typical. It's like a plot of a movie, just really typical.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but those series, like those mini series, like type of these mini documentaries, are very like, in the beginning you try, I cannot believe it that happened, and then suddenly it happened, right? And then I'm so into those. I like that. I'm gonna check it out. I didn't check it out because I didn't have time, but I'm gonna check it out. That one. Wow, that's amazing. That's awesome.
And I have to apologize now. There's something going on. We're not syncing up. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, we're not syncing. I'm not syncing up. I'm like 5 seconds behind or something. But sorry, we'll try to remain on pictures.
But you're here. You're here. That's
I'm there. Just forget the visuals.
Yeah.
All right, so what's your next?
My next one is one super. I thought that it was super cute. I thought that it was super great idea. It's called From Cradle to Stage. Cradle, sorry. Yeah, Cradle to Stage is this new series from it's streaming now at Paramount Plus, and is directed by Dave Crow from Foo Fighters, and it was inspired by his mother's book. Her name is Virginia. She wrote a book, From Cradle to Stage, stories from the mothers rocket and raise rock stars. So this series is all about exploring the mothers of these famous rock stars, and how they raise them, how they dynamic, what they do, you know what I mean? Because what they say, behind a big rock star, there is these wonderful mothers that raise them and make them, and some of them tell stories that we didn't, like the mom believe in them, so that's why they become a rock star, they become a famous person. So the first episode Dave directed, and they follow Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons, and his mom Christine, and the first episode dropped last Thursday. And today is dropping a new episode with Pharrell Williams and his mom. And every week they have like 6 episodes. So every Thursday they're gonna drop a new episode. So they follow the moms, they talk about, they interview them. This is the Giddy Lee, the from Rush. He's the singer as well, and then he plays the guitar as well. And they have an episode with Miranda Lambert, the country singer, and they also have an episode with Brent Carlyle. And I think it's super cute. I think it's amazing. It's an amazing idea, because I think something new that nobody did before. And I liked it. I was so into to get to know that. I don't know, maybe because I'm a mom. But I think it's great. I think it was a really good idea, super well done. And there was a partnership with Paramount Plus and MTV Entertainment Group, and they just did that. I think it's great. If you didn't check it out yet, I think it's something you should check it out.
Yeah, sounds interesting. I didn't recognize some of those people, but I didn't even know that show existed.
Yeah. Now, if you like rock, you're gonna, and if you're a fan of like Imagine Dragons or even Rush, it's like a classic band. And if you're the country singer Miranda Lambert, she's very famous, and they pick every. What they did, like they pick one from each genre, and
Mm-hmm.
they did this first season of the documentary. They might do the second one. I hope so.
Now, Paramount Plus, is it like Peacock where certain things are free and other things you have to pay for?
Yeah, this one is Paramount Plus. You need to pay subscription because before it used
Oh,
to be
okay.
CBS All Access, and you need to pay a subscription to watch it, just like Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Peacock is different. Like as you said,
Yeah.
some of the content are free, some of the content are we need to pay for it. Which I
Oh,
never know which one is which.
I'm losing track. I can't keep track.
Oh
It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
there's a lot of those streaming platforms. It's crazy. Plus, we have some, for example, imdb.com/TV is free, and sometimes you find content there, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you need, and if you go online, you need to pay for it. Even it, sometimes it's $2.99, but you need to pay for it, and it's fun.
Yeah, there we see all the streaming platforms.
Yeah, you
We
see.
can see ourselves here.
Yeah, Hulu. Oh my God, Disney Plus, all of them. Apple TV Plus. Wow.
And I'm trying to
Lot.
take turns because I'm stuck on Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime because that's what I have as far as subscriptions. So I keep getting stuck, but I'm like, I need to venture beyond
Yeah,
for other
exactly.
stuff. Well,
Exactly.
speaking of venturing beyond, I'm going to be talking about The Marksman. Have you watched that? I don't remember if you said you did.
Yes, I did. I did.
Oh, okay. All
I
right. So
did.
if you don't know, it stars Liam Neeson in another action thriller, what he does best and what we like seeing him in. It's now on Blu-ray, DVD, and it's also on digital for rent. We rented it a few weeks ago, and then we got a Blu-ray. So yay! So Liam Neeson plays a rancher, ex-marine. He's a marksman, obviously, hence the name. In an Arizona border town, and he's kind of down on his luck. The movie opens up with a scene that I think kind of is a metaphor for the rest of the movie. He kills a coyote feeding on a dead calf that he killed. So then we get into border issues, and since he's on the border, he regularly calls into the border patrol to tell him that there's what they call IAs. They call illegal aliens. They don't outright say illegal aliens. They say IA because they know that's not PC anymore. And so he's kind of this weird character where it's like, okay, he's a compassionate guy. He does come across an immigrant who needing the medical attention, so he calls border patrol so they can help him. So it's this movie's trying to walk a fine line between trying to be PC but also stating the fact that it's an issue. Obviously, it is an issue. And the story goes, while he's driving near the border, he finds this boy and his mother. They're trying to escape the cartels, and things happen. Things get out of control. And the boy is left in his care. And at first, he takes him to border patrol because he doesn't want to deal with it. He has his own financial issues, as I mentioned. But then out of guilt, he decides he's going to help this boy because he realizes that even the border patrol are not exactly on the up and up. And they know they're going to send him back to Mexico where he's going to no doubt be killed by cartels. So he takes not only pity, but guilt because of what transpired. He takes him across the United States. And of course, the cartels are after him. He's going to go to Chicago. And the villain is played by Juan Pablo Raba. He's an interesting villain. I like the fact that they made him a little different. He feels like he's on the same level as Liam Neeson because he feels he's a soldier at all, just like Liam Neeson's character was a Marine. He feels like he's a soldier. He's just doing his job. So you don't have too much compassion for him, but you can see like where he's coming from. He gives a little more depth to the villain / cartel. I guess Sicario, you want to call him, because he's hunting down this boy. And so I like the way he portrayed it. His English accent, English accent, I guess, Spanish accent is a little off. And I looked him up. I think he was raised in Argentina. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. He doesn't have like your typical Mexican English accents. And the boy, I won't name the actor, but he's not that great of an actor. They probably should have gone with somebody a little better. He seemed like a novice. And his English was like a little too perfect for somebody who grew up on the other side of the border. One prime example is he says hamburger. If you have relatives who are first generation immigrants, you know they can't say hamburger. They say hamburger. Am I right, Jana?
That for some reason, I don't know.
Oh, I muted because there was some noise in the background. But yeah, all my relatives who've been here for decades and still say hamburger.
Yeah, exactly. But that was the thing. The little actor, I spoke to him. His name is Jacob Paris, and he was chosen because he has an interesting story about his mother crossed the border.
Oh.
And so that's why he was raised here. So he wasn't born there. He wasn't. So the Spanish, I think the Spanish that he knows is the one that they speak in the house. Is, you know what I mean? It's just like if I say Ryan to speak Portuguese, so he will speak, but
he speaks with an accent.
Yeah, but he has accent. When we are like all together, you can notice a little bit of his accent on.
Yeah. When I go to Mexico, same thing. My relatives always can tell it's not the same language because I grew up bilingual, and my first language was Spanish, but then it became English because I went to school. So it was so obvious that he wasn't a Spanish speaker, a fluent Spanish speaker. It was just too obvious. It just took me out of the movie every time because, like, come on, guys, like they should have hired a casting person who knows the difference, because a lot of times
the thing is they have like they try to cast a lot of kids, and his tape was one of the best ones, like as the director said to me. That was he was the best one because they felt something about him, maybe because he has the experience of the mother on the background, so he knows what his mother went through, so he can put that on the character. But that was his first job, like his first acting job. And then
you can tell.
When the director Robert sent to Leon his tape, they were like, oh my God, we can work it out, we can work things out. So, but the guy was like fresh, was something he never did.
Yeah,
before.
You can tell. And usually for that, you can't really blame the actor, because there's been a lot of first timers who did a really good job. So it's really up to the director to focus on the kid and be like, the typical mistake of a rookie actor is where they roll their eyes or they try to act with their eyes, as far as like, with just rookie mistakes. He was making all those rookie mistakes. So I blame the director for not giving him better direction.
Yeah.
Act more with your physicality, not just your eyes, like rolling and, stuff like that. So, I mean, that's why I don't want to name the actor, but I don't put the full blame on him. But, it really, I mean, there's been tons of first time actors who do a really, really good job. And that's really on the director. The director really guides them through it.
Yeah.
And then I also want to talk about, I don't know if you thought this, but some of that, I thought the dialogue was a bit offensive. I took offense to it.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, okay, I didn't like that. We're supposed to like this guy, but yet he's making, like, we see that he's trying to be compassionate, but then he'll say something else in the dialogue, and you're like, okay, he's a jerk, or he's just not. He's one of those. He's one of those. Yeah,
I see.
He's supposed to be a jerk.
Yeah, I think that he's supposed to be a jerk. And I think, like, for example, this is because he's good. He's trying to be good, but he doesn't want to be good.
Yeah.
I think
he feels like he's owed, right? Because he complains about the government, and I mean, it's true. Like, soldiers, they're left to fend for themselves. Like, he's having really financial hardship because of his wife's death, and he's ex-Marine, and he feels like they didn't take care of him. So he has this kind of like, what are they doing for me kind of lately attitude, which is you can agree with him as well. But there's like towards the end of the movie, not end of the movie, I guess about halfway, a third of the movie, somebody says to him, "Oh, is that your son?" He's like, "That's not my son." And like, what's that supposed to mean? Like,
Yeah.
he
Like,
said it in a way like, "Yeah, that little brown kid is not my son." Like, it just came off so bad. Like, why? Because if he's trying to hide this boy and not raise suspicion, he would have been like, "Yeah, he is." But the fact that he said like, "No," it was like,
yeah, but I
that
think
was awkward.
that, yeah, it was awkward, but I think that part of the character. I'm not I think that some of the dialogue was very offensive, but I think that was part of like the character. He's
Yeah,
being like a jerk, like something
yeah,
like oh, I'm gonna do this just because I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna end up doing.
yeah. His motives were not entirely pure, like we learned during the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
And then, but what I did like was that they showed, because I'm tired of seeing cartels and the same story told about Latinos, because we're so vast, but it's the same story over and over and over again. But what I did like was that they showed that the border patrol and the police, some of the police and sheriffs were were involved with the cartel. That's
Yeah.
the reason that they can get away with so much, because we had corrupt officials in
Yeah.
police and the border patrol. So I like the fact that they showed that side of it, because it is true. Like, you need two to tango, especially when these cartels come over to the United States. There's got to be some involvement on the U.S. side to allow these, people to infiltrate here in the U.S. So I like that part of the movie, that they showed both sides of it. But like I said, there were some things I didn't like. My parents really liked the movie. I showed it to them this weekend. They really liked it. But,
I didn't thought that it was bad.
yeah, I liked it.
But I liked it. I watched it again. I watched when it first released on stream, like on VOD on demand, and then I watched it again when I got the DVD. So, but I don't think it wasn't bad. But there's some little negatives.
No, it's not a bad movie.
Like on the dialogue, as you said, like the little actor. Poor kid. I thought even though he was his first job, I think he did a great job, like in some of the scenes. But I understand your point on lack of direction, or like something like that.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I had my complaints about it, but it's a Liam Neeson movie, so it's what you expect. You're gonna get a Liam Neeson movie, so you get that. So if that's what you're looking for, it's right up your alley. But like I said, if you're Latino, you might find some of the dialogue offensive, but
talking about no, me too, for sure. And so talking about Latinos, my classic, which is for me is a classic, and I think after like 25 years it's already a classic, is I'm gonna recommend Selena the film, not the series that is streaming on Netflix, but this is the Selena, the movie. Is this like a musical drama, like a biographer, from the queen of the Tejano music, was written and directed by Gregory Nava. And the movie follows the life and career of the singer Selena Quintanilla Perez, who unfortunately was murdered at the age of 23 by one of her friends and president of her fan club. Can you imagine that? This is crazy, in real life. When he's thinking about this, it's crazy. And this is the movie that brought Jennifer Lopez to the spotlight. That brought her to the spotlight, and when she was cast as Selena, and also on the cast was Edward James Olmos, which I love him. I think he's great as the father, as an actor. I can, if I talk too much about Edward, because I like him a lot as an actor, as an activist, he always look up to the Latino community. And also Jacob Vargas is on the cast, John Seda, Lupe Ontiveros, Jackie Guerra, and that goes like since when she started her career until the murder. As I said, there's some really, I think what Gregory did, he was able to compile her career in a 2-hour movie in a way that was just like, I don't know, celebrating Selena on the movie, on her career, on everything. It's a little different from the series, and I think the movie is more touching, is more right to the point. And of course, when you have a series, you can talk more about it. But I think it's great. You know what I mean? It's like the story is vibrant. I think Jennifer Lopez was great. The costumes, everything, the faces, the acting was, I think, was really, really good. I think it was really, really good. And the move, and and it's funny because I was reading an article and one website, and when the movie first opened here in the US, we have like a mixed feeling. Like the critics was like, some of them love it, some of them didn't like the movie. Was funny because now this movie is like a classic, and everybody always talks about Selena, always talks about the movie, always talks about Jennifer Lopez portraying Selena. I think it's great. I loved it. Yeah. Did you, of course you watch it, but
Yeah,
did
I watched it when it came out a
revisit
long time ago.
again?
Where's it streaming right now?
You know, this is, you can rent in Amazon Prime, YouTube
Oh,
for
okay.
$2.99.
Oh, that's pretty cheap. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember actually. I remember seeing the movie. Was I? Because when she died, I had no clue who she was. When people were like, "Oh, I work," there was at work, and I was like the only Latina there. Like, "Oh, aren't you sad that so and so died?" And I was like, "Who?" Like, "I don't know who she is." I'm like, "Why would I know who she is?" Like, I don't listen to Mexican regional music. So I saw the movie because I was curious, like, oh, why are people so obsessed with this woman? And I can see why. She lived like the American dream. Her, her struggling family, they became a success, and
yeah,
it was an
in
endearing
everything.
story. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so I really, I like the movie, and actually, I like the series. I know a lot of people didn't like it because I liked how they showed the family dynamic, which I think was different. Oops, I just lost my lip. Uh,
You know, yeah,
which
but
was
it's
different from the
funny.
movie.
Yeah, it's way different. And like the series, a lot of people didn't like it because they thought that it was like the first season. There was too focused on the family dynamic.
Yeah, they just want
And
her.
yeah, but the thing is, for example, for me, I wasn't born and raised in this country. And so I didn't know a lot of stuff that I saw on the series, that
Mm.
they talk about on the series. I didn't know because I knew when she became famous. I knew some of the stuff on the movie, but not on the series. So I don't think it's that, like, people are like, oh my God, it's so bad, blah blah blah. And I was like, she became Selena because of the family, because of the support of the family. And some people
Yeah,
don't
it was
realize
just the
that.
one
We need to
thing.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's not
That's
like
what I
that.
liked about it. I mean, that's what I
Yeah.
liked about it because I mean, I saw a lot of parallels between his family and our family, and the struggles that people go through and the hard times. And I interviewed the actor who played the dad. I forgot his name, Chavarria.
Yeah.
Um,
Ricardo
Ricardo. Yeah,
Ricardo.
and it was
Yeah.
like I felt like I was watching my own family because of all the struggles and the hardships. So I liked it because, like you said, it shows that Selena just didn't make herself. Like it was a whole family thing. Like the neighbors helped put on the shows. They gave them props. They gave them lighting. It was like a
Yeah.
family affair, and it takes a village. And that's how best describes like my family growing up here. It's like the tias and the tios. They all help out. And it's when there's tough times. It was just I thought it really captured the Latino American family and the
Yeah.
American dream, and that's what I liked it. But I can understand why people who just want Selena 24/7, they
Yeah.
were disappointed. And
We
when I
know
was
that. We know that.
yeah, when I
She
was
was
watching it, I
the
was like,
star.
oh, Selena fans are not going to like it because it's not all about her. It's about how the family and the community and the village came together for it. Like, so they're not gonna see it that way. So
Yeah. Yeah. In the way that, for example, I think his dad gave up his life to to put them together, to like travel around the country with them,
hmm
you
hmm
know. And then I think it's so important to show that support for the, it's just like the series that we just talked about, the Paramount Plus.
hmm
You need, you need the support of the family to raise like rock stars, to raise the queen of Tejano music, to raise the Madonnas, to raise Britney Spears. You know what I mean? Like it's something like that. So
Oh, and
I
it's,
think the movie is great. So and the
you know
series
what's
is
interesting? You know what's interesting is I don't remember if you remember the story, but Lupe Antiveros, who played the woman who killed Selena, she was one of her I guess one of her assistants, and she was embezzling money on the side, and Selena found out about it. That's why she was shot, because Selena was
yeah,
going to go tell the world. But Lupe Antiveros, I remember she told the story that after she played that woman in the movie, like people would cuss her out in public because they associated her being that woman. And so
yeah,
she was like, I can't believe people were like on the streets were calling me names. And I was like, wow, the power of a performance, right? And
yeah,
a movie, that
exactly.
people equate that actor with the actual person who's acting. She would be like, no, that person's in jail. It's not me, you know?
Yeah. And you know, also the ending that Gregory did, the way that he did the ending, not showing the actual what heck.
Yeah.
Usually they show the scene, you know, they they try to recreate what happened so everybody
Mm-hmm.
can see it. But the way that
Yeah.
he did, I think, was so sensitive, like so like just the audio, just you know what I mean, like people talking about that she passed away, like that she was shot,
Mm-hmm.
she was murdered. And I think was this is one of the good stuff on the movie as well. It's not just
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez singing.
Yeah.
It's also that one, this one too.
Yeah. She did a good job on that one. I can see why that was her breakout role.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
Well,
that's for sure.
speaking of movies, I'm going on the movie train again. I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite rom-coms. It's an offbeat romance. I don't know if you've heard of it or watched it. 500 Days of Summer, the 2009 film.
I don't.
Zoe
Did I?
Deschanel and
Oh
Joseph
yes, I did.
Gordon-Levitt.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah,
with Joseph. Yeah, it's cute.
I know
I
he's so
love the
cute.
movie.
That's why you love this movie, because he's so cute.
Yeah.
So it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zoe Deschanel. And like I mentioned, it's an upbeat romance from 2009. Uh, Joseph plays, what is his name? Tom, who meets Zoe. Her name is Summer. And he falls in love instantly. She doesn't believe in love. So the first few days, the first few 2 months, they're friends. Then they become a couple. But she makes sure it's like, okay, we're having sex, but that doesn't mean we're in a relationship. So the 500 days refers to the romance and how many days, how the romance evolved. And because she doesn't believe in love, he's trying to convince her like that there is love. He considers her his soulmate. So they go, there's a lot of conversations. This film is reminiscent of the Ethan Hawke movie. What was that Ethan Hawke movie? The Train. I'm so unprepared. But anyway, they talk about relationships, their mutual love of music and art. So you can see the real connection that the audience is like, yeah, you guys have a real connection, but she doesn't want anything to do with the relationship. So it's just, and they jump back and forth in time in those 500 days to see what transpired, and it's a really different way of showing this romance. And I just really like it. The dialogue is really witty. The banter is really great. They make great use of Los Angeles. Los Angeles is another character in the movie. There's some great scenery in there. So just using LA as the backdrop, I just thought it was a really, really great movie. I really loved it. By the end of the movie, I was in love with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. You're in love with that
Oh yeah.
guy because he is trying his
Everybody
best.
is.
He's trying his best to convince you. You're like, I'll take you.
He's cute. I think
Yeah.
both of them, the chemistry between them on the movie, it's so good. And I think that they are great. Like they're great
Mm-hmm.
together. He's cute, and then everybody want to date him after that movie. So I understand.
Yeah, so that's a great movie, rom-com to check out, and it's on Hulu now. It just came. It just started streaming this May on Hulu. So check it out if you like rom-coms. It's a different one, different type of rom-com. It's not your traditional one. And I just love it. A few years back, I was working for a TV show, and we went to go shoot at one of their locations that they shot. And I was like, hey, this is the 500 Days of Summer location. And somebody else recognized, like, oh, you're right. It's a beautiful park. I think like an eco park that overlooks downtown LA. There's a bench. And it's just a great shot. It's so beautifully done, the cinematography here. It's like you have this romance and you have LA as a backdrop. And it's just it's done so well. I just saw The Marksman. It takes place in LA. Guy Ritchie dropped the ball on Los Angeles because he didn't show it.
Exactly.
I think he was trying to, because like in Collateral and Heat, Wrath of Man. Yeah. It takes place in LA, and they use some of the backdrops. It just wasn't the same. It wasn't the character like in Collateral and Heat, Michael Mann's movies, which I love. He knows how to shoot LA.
Yeah. Some directors know how to do it.
Yeah, and some don't, because I'm a native of LA, so I know every inch, square corner of everything here in LA and even beyond. So this movie just really highlights LA, and you fall in love with LA as well, because they never really show it that way. They always just show like your Beverly Hills, the palm trees, the beaches, but they don't do that here. They just stay like within downtown LA and like this like 20-mile radius of downtown LA. So I really liked it because I've lived in downtown LA. That's where I grew up. And I always thought there's a lot of beauty in it, and nobody ever really captured it. So that's why that's why I named this movie Heat and Collateral as really highlighting like what LA is about and the different sections that are so different.
Yeah, I think LA is beautiful. It's beautiful. When I moved here, we went out like exploring the city, so we fell in love with Echo Park, when there is a lot of beautiful places here. I love it.
Oh,
I think it's great. And I'm gonna check it out again.
I love it when they capture it. I know I'm gonna watch it. I haven't watched it in a long time, but every time I see the name or Gordon Levitt and Zoe Deschanel, I was thinking like, oh, 500 Days of Summer. I love that movie so much. I think it's a cult favorite at this point.
Yeah. I'm gonna check it out again.
Yeah, and all you out there, check it out. It's a really lighthearted, rom-com, and highly recommend it to everybody.
It's cute. Love it. That's awesome.
So when you watch Sons of Sam's, then go watch 500 Days of Summer to kind of wipe off all that yucky feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
That was so morbid. Okay, now let me smile.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think we picked great titles this week. And aside from there's Legacy, which is a little bit, but the other ones I think was great.
Yeah, it's a great range of different genres to check out for this weekend.
Exactly. That's awesome.
All right. Well, what else are you watching that you're going to talk about, or that you're going to talk about on your site?
That I'm gonna talk. Yeah, that I'm gonna talk about is some of the movies that is gonna be in theaters, not streaming, but like Finding You. That is a really another cute romantic comedy. Not comedy, but it's more of a love story, and I think it's cute. And what else did I? Oh, there is a movie on streaming now on Netflix, Oxygen, from Alexander Aja. Oh. It's great. You should check it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's already available.
I watched scary movies this week. The Conjuring, Devil Made Me Do It, and Spiral, which I watched like this. Spiral was too gruesome for me.
Ooh, I watched. I watched The Conjuring and Spiral, and I watched this. Oxygen is really good. You should check it out.
Okay.
What else do I have? Oh, I watched Monster as well. It's also streaming on Netflix.
Oh, I want to check that. I love the actor. I forgot his name.
Oh, yeah, Calvin. Oh, Calvin's wonderful.
Calvin. Yeah, Calvin. Yeah, he's a great actor.
Calvin Harrison Jr.
I hope he blows up soon, because he had such great movies in 2019. Really remarkable performances from that guy, and nobody really. I mean, Hollywood Critics Association. We honored him at our award show. But I think in general, like the rest of the world, Hollywood casting hired this guy. I mean, he's a really, really talented guy. And so I hope his career blossoms. So I'm going to take that Monster out because I like him as an actor.
Yeah, we pay attention. Some people need to pay attention to this kid because they're really good.
I like some Golden Globe people.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is another.
But anyway,
That's a conversation for another streaming, but because it's a long conversation.
that's a long conversation. But Hollywood Police Association, we're vastly different. We're from all over the world and from all over the country here. Very different perspectives. So I like that part of this organization.
Yeah.
And
So I'm
check us out.
proud
Oh,
of-
also, I want to mention on my site, we talked to Marksman. I'm giving away 5 digital codes to watch the movie. So if you're interested, go to
that's nice.
cinemovie.tv and enter, and we'll pick winners probably next week.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh.
That's what I don't have giveaways. Not this week. Sometimes I do, but not.
All right. Well, that's the movies and TV shows. Exactly. All right. Well, Jana, thank you for joining us again on What to Stream, and join us next week when we'll have more TV and series that we'll recommend that are new for the weekend.
Thank you for having me, Lupe.
All right. Thanks, Jana. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.